Alright folks, what we're going to do today is change the perspective of some images inside of images in Photoshop because our goal is to take our own artwork and place it into an art gallery or a street with a billboard setting. So you're welcome to use the link to Google image search for your own files, or if you want to use one of these two art galleries that I have linked, you can open it up and hit the download button and then open it in Photoshop. Okay, so I have one already open. If I go to File, Open, I could look for the other one in my Downloads folder, Art Gallery. So either Art Gallery will work, right? I think I'm going to stick with this one. So I'm going to do the next step on the handout, which should be File, Place. Close that out. Yep, we've done File, Open. Right now we're going to go File, Place, and this time I'll do Place Embedded. I always recommend you do Place Embedded. Make your file size is a little larger, but that's not a problem. Alright, so I'm going to bring in this 3-panel triptych that I made in another class. Alright, so this I'm going to try to make it look like it belongs on the wall. So I think I could probably make it fit over this large chalkboard piece. So I'm going to line up a corner, and now here's where it gets fun. I am going to hold down the Ctrl key, and that's going to allow me to shorten up the perspective. You can see I can hold Control and drag the corners, and I literally just need to make sure that each corner touches the corner of the image I'm trying to replace. And I can hit Ctrl+ to zoom in a little bit. Now you may notice that the quality of my image gets somewhat lower while I'm doing this. That is not a problem because when I hit the Enter key it will clear up. I just need to make sure I'm as precise as possible with finding the corners. It looks pretty good. I'll hit the check and then it clears up, and now I've got my work in place of that work. So I'm going to update and change all the surfaces of these paintings. Okay, first off I better go to File, Save, call it Perspective, and I'm going to save it onto the cloud. Yeah, Perspective Demo. Good. Alright, I don't need to see those little things every time. So to repeat the process, we go to File, Place Embedded, and then I'm going to browse on my computer for other work that was done. Right, so I've got a self-portrait here. I'm going to bring this in, hold the Shift key, shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to try to get the height more or less to match that painting over there, and then I can hold down the Control key and you'll see the icon changes, and that allows me to add a sense of perspective onto this. So if you grab the center, it moves it equally, but if you grab the corner, it lets you tweak the sense of linear perspective. So again, zooming in a couple of steps with Ctrl+. I just need this to match corner to corner to corner to corner. And hit Enter. I can zoom back out, and now it looks like my artwork is on the wall. Okay, Ctrl+S to save it again, only a few more to replace. So we'll go Place Embedded. I'll bring in this one. Okay, a little Photoshop painting experiment. Shrink that down. And maybe rotate it upward. Corner to corner. I'm just going to zoom in a couple of times, hold my space bar down, or I can do it the long way, grab the hand tool, and that lets us move around while we're zoomed in. I need to just click and drag my corner boxes until it feels like everything is in place the way it needs to be. Alright, so that's how it's done. Now you can also make adjustments to your images. If you feel like the image is too light or dark, you could ask for a brightness contrast filter. Now this one is affecting the entire image. You can see. You see how bright that white is. I'm going to ask it for a clipping mask, and that way it'll only affect the picture. So I'll reduce the brightness and contrast a touch, so it looks maybe a little more at home in this world. Probably ought to do the same thing here with the brightness and contrast for the photo to pencil project. So I'll make it a little darker, a little less contrast, so it looks more at home in the world. You know, you don't want to do too much. You want to try to just balance it to match whatever it looks like is going on lighting wise in the world in which you are working. Okay, so I only have one more canvas to replace in this one. Place embedded, bring that one in, shrink it on down. That's a vertical picture, so I better pick a horizontal one. So I'll go to File, Place Embedded. What do we have to choose from? Not much, to be honest, but this one is somewhat abstract. Bring that in, rotate it, and shrink it down. Alright, Ctrl+ a few times, space bar for the hand, Ctrl+. Alright, so I'm going to shrink it down and hold down the Ctrl key, and that lets me rearrange the perspective of the corners. I just need to get everything lined up. Looks pretty convincing. Okay, if I want to do brightness and contrast, or maybe this time I'll do levels and reduce the amount of output. Again, clipping mask allows that to affect only the image that you're working on. You can rebalance as needed. Just want to make it look at home in the world that we've entered, in this case the gallery. So File, Export, Export As, and I'm going to do a JPEG. You can do a PNG if you prefer. Export it and put it right into the desktop. Perspective demo, save it, and we're ready to upload it to our digital sketchbook, and we're all set. Thanks for watching, guys.